Hi, welcome back to the Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda, and here are the DIYs I'm working on today. Dollar Tree was really killing it with these plaques this summer. They have the wood beads, they have the jute string, they were all kinds of summer goodness, but I'm going to transform this one into fall. And I'm going to use this really pretty tissue paper that also came from the Dollar Tree. So here's a news bulletin for those who haven't heard. One of the trending colors for fall this year is navy blue, which makes me really happy because it's one of my favorite colors. And so that's why this plaid tissue paper from the Dollar Tree is so perfect for this project. My plan is to line the inside of this box with the tissue paper. And I'm going to use the suggestion of many of my subscribers who've told me measure the inside of the box and then cut your piece out. And that's such a duh. Why didn't I think of that before? But I'm going to use that method this time. So my box measured just about 5.5 inches both ways. Next, you'll need to prepare the decoration for painting, which means you're going to have to cut off the cute handle, but I cut it as close to that knot as I possibly could so that I could reuse that jute string and of course the 2 beads. And then it took 2 good coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and linen white to cover all the wording and the green on the decoration. And while I was at it, I just went ahead and put a nice clean coat of white paint all over the entire thing. Next, you will stick down the plaid tissue paper to the inside of the box, and I used just regular school glue that came from the Dollar Tree. No need to even get out your Mod Podge. Just be careful that when you're putting down this tissue paper, because it is delicate, that it is lined up correctly before you press it down into the glue. And then smooth out any air bubbles with your fingers. So now we have a blank canvas and we can put anything inside here that we want. I chose to put a leaf inside. Just go to Google Images and type in maple leaf clip art and you'll get a whole bunch of images to choose from. I printed mine out on cardstock paper first because I want something sturdy that I can trace around. And then I cut this leaf out. This is the paper that I really want the leaf to be made out of, and it is some scrapbook paper that came from Michael's. So that's why I did the cardstock first. Now I'm going to trace it onto the back side so there's no chance of being able to see my ink marks with my tracing when I get this cut out. This is some mounting foam tape that I found at the Dollar Tree, and it's by the Super Glue brand, and that's what I used to put on the back of the leaf to stick it down inside the box so it has a 3D popped effect. And this is some small scrapbook paper that I've had on hand for a long time. And these are some really neat vintage looking brads that I got from Michael's, and they have letters stamped on them. And so I'm going to layer all of these elements up onto this leaf. I decided to spell out the word autumn. So I guess the real purpose of brads is to hold pieces of paper together maybe. So they have these things sticking out the back of them that are supposed to bend and hold things together. So I had to snip those off with my wire cutters. I decided to go with the lighter color of the woven scrapbook paper so that these letters would pop. And I'm using tweezers to help me hot glue all of these down into place. Once the letters were all hot glued down, then I cut a rectangle of the paper out just big enough to go around the letters. And I hot glued it to the center of the leaf. Next, we have to reattach the handle, which I found it easier to do by using a small piece of Scotch tape to wrap around the end of the jute string so that it wouldn't come unraveled while I was putting it back through the hole on the box and back through the beads. And then just tie a knot back in the end and cut off any excess. I just love this blue plaid along with this leaf and all the cozy little layers and textures. It's so fall. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. For the next DIY, I'm using a vase that I have had left over from Valentine's Day. So it really doesn't matter if there is an image on your vase or not, it can stay, but make sure that you take any peelable stickers off. And I'm going to cover the vase, along with all the Valentine stuff on it, with the navy blue tissue paper that came in this pack of tissue paper from the Dollar Tree. Measuring was simple. I just looked to see, and it happened to be where that paper was creased is exactly the size that I needed. And I'm going to want this to wrap around the vase twice, so it does that perfectly. So all I had to do was cut on that crease. I'm using the gloss Mod Podge, and there is a reason why I picked the gloss. And that is because I'm going to be working with gold leaf. And since gold leaf is shiny, you want a shiny product. I started by putting just a strip of Mod Podge on the vase first. And that was kind of to get things going. So I stuck the vase down onto the strip of tissue paper. And so you can see that it's going to roll up. And I'm going to Mod Podge as I go. And I wrapped the tissue paper around the vase twice. When you cut your tissue paper to go around this vase, make sure that you leave just a little bit for overhang to go down inside the vase, just a hair, and also on the bottom. And this makes the vase look more made this way and not like something was applied to it. And same thing on the bottom. I just wrapped it around the bottom and Mod Podged it down. And then I decided to cut another piece of the tissue paper to go ahead and cover up the bottom too. And then trim off the excess and Mod Podge over it, and it's like it's one seamless piece. So here we have another blank canvas. What are we going to put on it? Well, I decided that I was going to play with some gold leaf, and this is the very first time that I've ever tried to do this. I bought mine off of Amazon. It was less than $10, and so I don't know as far as quality goes or anything like that. I'm no expert. This is just my first shot at it. I know that they have special adhesive to use with the gold leaf, but I didn't know to buy that when I bought the gold leaf. And so I'm using Mod Podge, which I've researched and I've seen that it can be used, so I'm good there. I also watched some videos on how to apply it, so I would have some idea. And what I saw said that you should put thin layers where you want your gold leaf to stick, and it needs to be a little bit tacky before you apply it. So I had about 3 lines drawn with the Mod Podge, and I let it get tacky, and then I applied the gold leaf. So you're supposed to press it down into the adhesive or the glue, and then you're supposed to kind of rub it down into place and then use a brush to brush away the excess. Or you're supposed to tear, like here, I'm trying to tear some of it away, but it's not sticking. So yeah, it didn't stick at all. So then I had to take it off and regroup. I thought maybe I let it get too dry. So I drew some more squiggly little vein type lines onto the vase, and I decided that I would not give it any time at all to get tacky and just put the gold leaf right down. And you can see that it was tearing where the glue was, and so obviously that wasn't the right way to go about it either. But I just went ahead because it was working well enough. I felt like the more I patted it down into the vase, and then when I tore some of it away, I saw that it was sticking. And then I picked up my bristly brush, and I'm not sure exactly if you're supposed to use a stiffer kind of brush or a softer kind of brush. This is just the one I had beside me. It's the Dollar Tree, very kind of stipply kind of brush. And that's what I used to break away the rest of the gold leaf. Now, the more I dusted this gold leaf off with this brush, I wasn't mad at it. It was looking okay to me. It might not have been the right technique. I might not have done it correctly, but hey, look, I thought that looked pretty good. So I was going along drawing my Mod Podge lines and applying my gold leaf and dusting it back off when I came across something that happened just by accident. I was trying to see what would happen if I used that fat brush and just applied a bunch of Mod Podge and stuck a whole sheet of the gold leaf on top and then rubbed it off with just my fingers. And this is what I saw. To me, it looks like a gold birch tree. Are you seeing that too, or is it just me in my imagination? But look, I thought that looked like a perfect birch tree, which is the perfect fall decoration. So then, of course, I had to try to copy and replicate and make more of those. After I had all the gold leaf that I wanted applied, then I sealed the whole thing with that glossy Mod Podge. And this is in case I want to use this vase for some real flowers and it's going to be around water. Then that tissue paper and that gold leaf is protected. But I don't have any fall flowers that are real yet. So I'm using some mums that I found at the Dollar Tree. So I was actually really happy with my first try at using gold leaf. I know it wasn't perfect. I probably didn't do it correctly, but I found a look that I really liked with this kind of fake birch tree effect. And in this DIY, I'm using the brass wreath rings that you get at the Dollar Tree, but I'm only going to use one. I used the middle-sized one, and I'm not going to make a wreath out of it. I'm using this ring for a tabletop decoration, possibly a centerpiece. And I'm going to wire this lamb's ear garland that I have gotten from Hobby Lobby. Oh, it was a long time ago. It was a really long strand, and I've been using this sporadically. Just a leaf here or there, you know, like I don't want to use it all up at once on one project. Like it's gold or something. After the lamb's ear was wired to the ring, then I added these blue flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I did it just pretty much in the same way. I used my floral wire and I wired it right on top. And that's it. I have created a ring for my pumpkins that I got at the Dollar Tree to sit inside of. Aren't these the cutest pumpkins that they have put out yet? And here's another look at all the fall DIYs today. Thanks for stopping by and watching my video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all are getting inspired to start your own fall DIYs. If you want to continue watching some more DIY fun, just click the link that I provided here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!